Hello and welcome to this very short tour of the exhibition Tansa, Threads of Influence from Japan, Miniature Textiles. We're going to look at one or two of the pieces in detail and then have a general pan through the exhibition. It's a small substitute for actually visiting, but for those of you who can't visit, at least you get a taste of the amazing work that's here. The exhibition arose from a research trip to Japan that I led in 2019. And the first person I'd like for us to look at is the great designer Reiko Sudo. This is her piece. It's made from monofilament and looks like one of those puzzles we used to have on our fingers as children. Truth or Dare, I think it was called, and we could move it around. Absolutely beautiful. Every piece in this exhibition is its own perfect and complete self. It's so extraordinary that each artist has done something which is very much from their own practice, from their own response to Japan or response to the meetings together. And they are total and complete in themselves. There is nothing of the maquette about any of them. Looking at Reiko Sudo's work, it's very much what one might expect from Japan. But here we're looking at a very different aspect of Japan. The shiny, neon, colourful, fun side of Japan. This is the work of Suzumi Noda, who is a knitter. And she has chosen to knit a replica representation of a particular brand of sweetie in Japan. And apparently, I've been told, it's probably the most expensive sweetie you can buy in Japan. It's full of glitter and pink and very kawaii. If we move to here, we have the work of the UK textile designer Evie Francis, who is a young designer who absolutely loved the colourful, kawaii, neon side of Japan. Her work is also monofilament, but very different to the monofilament of Reiko Sudo. Okay. Here we have the work of Chika Ogi, who has taken the traditional shibori technique to create something which looks a little bit like an iced donut. I'm going to lift it up so you can see it. Okay. It looks so simple, but actually it's phenomenally complex to get all the tie-dye following each other around in this crisscross. Here we have the work of the living national treasure, Mr. Komiya. He is using a very special traditional technique, stencil technique, called Edo Komon, which traditionally was only used for samurai kimono or for the royal family. Silk, it's fantastically detailed, and if one knew, the symbols all tell a story as well. Mr. Komiya is actually third generation Edo Komon printer, and all of them have been living national treasures, which is very unusual. Utterly beautiful. We are incredibly honoured to have this work in the exhibition. And if I turn around, I'm confronted with more master dyers and weavers from Japan. We have here the work of Ryuaki Shindo, who is the indigo dyer. This very, very tightly controlled dipping in the indigo dye. Unbelievable the amount of control that's required for that. So beautiful. Then we have the work of Kusuri weaver Juntomita, who complained, or rather remarked, when told the maximum size of the work in the exhibition would be 15 centimetres in any direction. His remark was, how can I possibly do that and still call myself a weaver? His solution is a longer piece, but done in this Again, beautifully controlled folding so that you see the line slowly moving up the fabric. Absolutely beautiful. Jun trained here at Farnham as well as obviously in Japan many, many years ago. And in between them we have our own lovely Kenda and her woven structure, which fits so beautifully with the two on either side. And then here is our own master indigo dyer, Linda Brassington, who has also just completed a project with us with Georgia, the country Georgia. This is burnished paper indigo dye, unbelievably beautiful, and one just loves the folds and the pins. Okay. This is the work of Beverly Ailing-Smith, who responded very strongly to our visit to Kanazawa and the Gold Leaf Museum. She's used gold leaf on the paper here, but these little packages, these extraordinary little packages, are very, very, very thinly pressed lead. And in this case, the lead is a response to the very, very thinly pressed gold leaf that we were able to see in the Gold Leaf Museum, where the gold leaf is pressed and pressed and pressed till it's almost like tissue paper, and then pressed again, and then again, and then again. It's quite remarkable how thin they managed to get the gold leaf. But what is, again, so remarkable is that the gold leaf, you can't touch it because it's so precious and it's so very thin. And here we can't touch it because it's lead. And of course, lead is poisonous. We've spoken quite a lot about the very traditional crafts of Japan. In this case, Peter Jacobs is responding to the most avant-garde technology that we could see in Japan after a visit to the Mori Digital Arts Museum. She was absolutely thrilled by the colours, the shapes, the digitalisation, the immersive effect of the work there. And she's created her own tiny little immersive box, which could be called It All Depends on Where You Stand. Because as you move round the box, the contents of the box appear to change. They don't, it's just two cones, but as the camera will show you now, as it moves around, it feels like infinity is contained within this very small box. This is the work of our basket maker, Annette Mills. It's an homage to the chrysanthemum. It's willow bast, and I'm going to pick it up so you can see how it fits so beautifully in the hand. And it is a basket, if you look inside. It is so seductive. Of all the pieces in the exhibition, it's the one that's most hard not to touch.